Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Megacast. My name is Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe is here joining us, and we are on broadcast outlets all across our local Bloomfield, West Bloomfield, Oakland County region. Thank you very much for joining us. The Megacast today can be heard right here on 89.3 WBLD Lakes FM. Also joining us today, we're so happy to have 88.1 WBFH, the Biff, joining us, and they're a huge signal that covers a whole lot of our area. Thank you very much for being there. Want to thank Civic Center TV, channel 15 on Comcast, channel 99 on AT&T, and also the West Bloomfield Schools channel is there as well today, and you can find them, of course, on channel 19 on Comcast. If you want to watch the Megacast today, we are streaming live at civiccentertv.com, and really it's a great place to watch it because it is in full high definition. You can see us working real hard here in the studios and see all of our guests as well. Today we are also delighted that the West Bloomfield Township added the Civic Center TV player to the homepage. So we want to say hello to all of you who are watching on the West Bloomfield Township page. And our partner today on Facebook is the Keego Harbor Police Department. And we are streaming live and Facebook Live on the Keego Harbor Police Department webpage. So the Megacast, what is it? Well, we got all these outlets. That's really cool. I'm Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe will be in here in a minute. He's hitting some buttons. The reason we're here each and every day is to provide you the very most up-to-date and very local information that you need to survive this terrible crisis that our country is going through. And you may have seen the president on TV yesterday. And if we didn't all know that this was a serious matter, the president, who, if anyone's been conservative about his messaging, it's been the president. Yesterday, the president says another 30 days. We're going to be locked down, if you will, if you use that term, for another 30 days. We're going to be hitting some really tough numbers, really tough talk from the federal government yesterday about the impact. And right here at home, the folks in Oakland County have done such a great job with their new maps and information, many of which we'll take a look at today, that show us exactly the impact right here in Oakland County, down to the point where you can enter your zip code right in the website and find out exactly how many people are affected right in your neighborhood. And the numbers are growing, and Governor Whitmer says, look, we have not flattened the curve yet. The numbers are growing. And all the officials, the doctors, the elected officials, the local officials you'll hear from today, the regional officials at the county level, the governor, the president, all the other elected officials are all saying the same thing. We are in for a tough couple of weeks. Joining me now in the studio, Lakes FM studio, is WBFH and Bloomfield Hills graduate Tyler Keefe. And Tyler, as we do every day in the show, I'm glad to see that you're getting out the wipes, because I was working over there, keeping your 6 feet of distance and doing all you can to make this a safe work environment. Hello, welcome to the Megacast. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Dave. How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. You know, I felt a little gimpy when I got up today. I'm feeling much better now, and it's hard. I mean, I know everyone listening knows exactly what I'm going through. Psychologically, it's like the littlest thing. You know, you feel like, well, is this it? And I just, I'm fine today, I think. But I don't know. We'll talk about during the show as to whether or not maybe it's a good idea for Dave Scott to go get a test today, and how all that's going to work. So we got a lot of great guests. Let's get to our first guest, who is very patiently waiting. And like so many of our guests, we are so glad to have him joining us via Zoom. If you're watching on one of our video outlets, you can see John Fitzgerald, the Keego Harbor Police Chief. And Chief Fitzgerald, thank you for joining us on the Megacast.
Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
You know, I feel good now. I didn't feel so good when I woke up. Do you go through this thing, too, where you go, is that just 60-year-old Dave barking at me a little bit, or do I have something going on? I mean, I can breathe fine. I don't think I have any fever. I think I'm hitting on all, 8 cylinders, but I'm a 61-year-old guy. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Did you ever go through that yourself where you're not quite sure? If you're feeling good, feeling bad?
I think it's the same thing. I think probably most people go through that. All of a sudden they feel a little bit warm and go, oh, is something coming on? And they get a little bit worried about that stuff. Happens to me too. And sit there and calm down and sit through it. And so far, it's been nothing for any of those what almost would be symptoms for me.
Well, and I think I'm in the same boat, but we'll talk about that later on in the show. I feel fine right now. So I think we're all okay. We're all okay, but there's a lot of people that aren't okay. We've had a tremendous number of deaths, way too many people impacted by the coronavirus in our communities. I'm really glad you're here with us today, and I'm really glad, Chief, that you allowed us to broadcast today's show on the Facebook page of the Keego Harbor Police Department. You got a lot of followers. You got a lot of followers for Keego Harbor. I was really impressed.
Well, we're happy to help. If we can get some good information out to everybody, that's what we want to do. That's what it's all about right now.
So when we talked a couple of days ago, I really enjoyed your comments. One of the things you mentioned that it's difficult for local municipalities to enforce all the different orders that we have because there, especially at the beginning, wasn't a tremendous amount of clarity. Since the Attorney General has come out and published information and you've had time in the field, how's that going, Chief Fitzgerald?
You know, in Keego, it's going pretty well. I like to think that people are policing themselves. A lot of us didn't take it as seriously as we might have wanted to begin with. I have to be one of those, too, that didn't right off the bat think it was that bad. Hey, another flu. But as they're putting out numbers and it is affecting people seriously, I think I'm seeing more people following the rules that are put out there so the police department doesn't have to get involved in that. And that's the important thing is overall just take care of yourselves and do what you're supposed to do. Make good choices.
Well, and that's great what you just said, and it's true. We hear from all of our first responders that, you know, if you overtax the system, we're not going to really be able to be there when we need. So, like, I got a little minor sniffle today. If it gets worse, then I'll go and I'll get tested. If not, then why burden the system? If somebody calls you for something that is insignificant, they're burdening the system, and it's probably not the best idea. Although I know you do want people to call you when there are problems.
We do. We want people to call, but that goes back to the burdens on the system. You know, some people think, well, I'm going to go out for a drive in my car because I can't catch it through the window of my car, and if I have it, I'm not giving it to somebody else. What happens if you get in an accident? Then you're tying up first responders on the accident. If it's bad enough, you're going to tie up a bed in a hospital that we need right now. So going out just to go out, you know, take your walks like they say, but remember, be considerate of other people and what your actions could result in for somebody else.
Well, and I agree with what you said a couple of minutes ago. This didn't really hit home, you know, to the degree that it has now. Chief John Fitzgerald, Keego Harbor Police Chief, joining us via Zoom here on the Megacast. It didn't hit home for me, and you know, I was probably a little reckless the first couple of days. Good point about driving, though. I mean, we do feel very cocooned in our car, and we feel like it's a safe environment. But really, from a practical standpoint, you're not supposed to be driving around on the roadways right now unless you're going out to get supplies or you are a essential employee.
That's correct. Yeah, it's one of those things. You're supposed to stay at home. Don't go out and cause any other problems for people.
So is there anything you want to share with the public today, things you're seeing, anything you want to enlighten us about that you're seeing from your perch in Keego Harbor as a police chief?
Once again, I'm seeing a lot of cooperation with people. I'm seeing a lot of people being friendly with each other. You know, I want to give a shout out to people are patting first responders on the back, and you know, the nurses and the doctors in the hospitals are doing a great job, and they're really facing this right to their face at work. But think about those guys at Kroger and Meijer and all the essential stores that are open who have the public come into their face, right up to their face at the cash register all day long. A lot more people coming through to them with no protection on. So a shout out to those guys. A thank you to them for continuing, because we need them to keep the essential services going.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that. I am really terrified, and I don't worry about stuff too much, but I'm pretty terrified when I'm going into the grocery store. You know, there's all those products. You think about all the people that had to touch them, and then you're right, from the merchant standpoint, the people that are there serving us, they're heroic. We wouldn't be eating without them, and then just all the people down the whole line, the truck drivers and everybody. So, yeah, we got to be careful more in the grocery store and be respectful. The store I go to, they got lines marked. Stay 6 feet away. Like you go to the meat counter, there's a big line. Your checkout, keep some space, right?
Absolutely. And remember the guy working behind the counter at the cash register. don't yell at those guys because they don't have something in stock. That's it's not them. Either somebody took too much or they just can't get it right now. But remember, they're people too, and they're doing a great job for us. Don't start yelling at them for something that's beyond their control.
No, I listen, we're all stressed out. I mean, we are all stressed out right now, but barking at someone who's out there doing their job, and they could be staying at home and not going to work. They're there to help you get the food you need. That's just downright wrong. It makes no sense to me. By the way, real quickly, we are later on in the program today going to go through some really good information that we got from Click on Detroit and from CNN about what you need to do with your food. I mean, you got to be careful bringing food into your house. There could be the coronavirus on some of the packaging. There are things that you can do. We're going to go through all the steps before the show is over. How's your staff, Chief Fitzgerald? Are you doing okay?
They're doing all right. They feel the stress too because they are going out on the road every day and meeting people, and you can see there's a extra burden on their shoulders right now, and it's not pleasant. But they're continuing to try and do the service that they're sworn to do. They keep doing it. I'd also like to say thank you for the people giving us good wishes. People are we just had a couple that supplied us with a bunch of masks. They're not the N95 masks, but they're going to be very helpful. They were homemade ones, but I'm asking people not to come into the station to make food donations. It's probably pretty true at any police station or fire station right now. Don't come into us with donations. Call ahead if anything. We're trying to keep our environment as sterile as possible here with a lot of wipe downs and keeping people out of it, just like you should be at your own homes.
Chief John Fitzgerald of Keego Harbor, the police chief there. And I'm sure you're keeping up with all of the 911 calls that are coming into your department. You are still able to respond to all of them, correct?
Absolutely. We've been able to respond to everything that's been coming in, and we plan to keep doing that. I feel for my brother officers and sister officers in Detroit and some of the other cities that have been hit kind of hard with this coronavirus. Crossing my fingers and hoping that the steps we're taking and the cautions we're taking are going to keep all our Keego and our partners at Orchard Lake and Sylvan Lake and West Bloomfield, keep them all on the road and healthy to serve everyone.
It's really tough in Detroit, but it's kind of tough out here too. I mean, we certainly have seen the coronavirus hit hard here in Oakland County and in our neighborhoods. So, Chief, thank you very much. I got an email from the El Toro Grill in Pontiac, really not too far from you and a lot of other first responders in the area. They're giving out free tacos to anyone who's got a badge or anyone who's driving a truck or anyone who's helping out. So if your guys get hungry around lunchtime, it's not too far, right up there in Pontiac. I think they're off Telegraph somewhere, and they got free tacos. They wanted me to mention that to you today.
That's a great offer. Thank you very much.
It is great. I mean, even if you can't take up all these offers, it's heartwarming, isn't it, to see the community come out and support you guys?
They are. You just can tell from the restaurants and even the citizens and the messages we're getting on our Facebook page and some of the calls into the station. They're supporting us, and it's great. And, I also hate to sound like a negative Nelly saying, don't do this, don't do that. Think about some of the good things you can do. Spend some more time with your family. Get up and enjoy this, the sunrise or the sunset, the little things that maybe you didn't have time to enjoy before. There's some things we can try and make positives out of this. Not everything's got to be negative, and you can't do this and you can't do that. So, keep yourself going with positive things.
Well, I agree. We're trying to keep it light. It gets hard. It gets hard when you're isolated in your home. You're working really hard, and we all have the pressure of this virus hanging over our head. So I get it. But, yeah, it's keep your cool. Be a good American. We are at war. Just look back at the people that came before us and the great heroes that have preceded us in this country and the effort they made. We can do the same thing. It's a challenge, but I know we can do the same thing. Before I let you go, Chief, have you had to ticket anybody or arrest anybody because they're violating any, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but because they're violating any of these rules that have been handed down by our government officials to keep people at home?
We have not had to issue any tickets. We helped the city code enforcement with a stop work order at one place. We have given a couple of warnings out, but for the most part, people are being, they're being acceptive and are receptive to our advice to get back home and knock it off. So luckily, we haven't had to do enforcement actions. It's all been warnings and information education to them.
All right, and I will send a message over to Chief Flynn at the Fire Department in West Bloomfield, and any comments that he might have made about the fire department having a harder job than the police department. I know you want to straighten them out. Is there anything you want to say to him on the Megacast here?
Well, we go back and forth, but I think this time I remember that I checked the right box on the application.
Okay. It's kind of like Army-Navy. You know, Tyler, it's just kind of like Army-Navy.
It is.
All right. Chief, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. And I know when we talk to you, it's like talking to the chief of police in any of our communities, the Bloomfields and Franklin and Birmingham and West Bloomfield and in Novi and all of our area. You're all going through the same thing. It's good to hear from you this morning, and thank you for joining us on the Megacast. Thanks for putting us on your Facebook page, and we will keep in touch, sir.
You're welcome, Dave. Stay healthy, everybody.
Thank you. You too. He is the chief of the Keego Harbor Police Department. Not the biggest department in our area, but a really important department, and they do a really good job, and it's good to see. You know, he's a good guy. Like most of our chiefs in the area, they're really good guys, and when you get to know them, and they've been very helpful and great work going on. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute. We're going to meet Joe Bauman. He is a president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. We'll talk about the impact this is having on business across our entire lakes area, across the Bloomfield area, see how we're doing in downtown Birmingham, how things are going on the Telegraph Corridor. We'll share with him what we're doing with our very unique offering, the Carryout Club, and a whole lot more. We'll be back in a moment. By the way, if you have any comments or questions, our telephone number is 248-683-2343, 248-683-2343. I'll say that one more time slow, 248-683-2343. I'm Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe, how you doing today, Tyler? Oops, I got to turn your microphone on.
I'm doing fantastic. It's all right, Dave. I'm watching out, too. You got a lot you're doing over there.
I am busy, and I know you're busy. We have a very limited staff in the building. We only have the people here that we need. So there's a lot of things that have to go on behind the scenes to make sure we get on all of these radio and TV outlets, and Tyler's been running around, so we'll spend more time with him in a minute. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in today on Civic Center TV, Channel 15 and Channel 99 on AT&T. Thank you for watching on the Civic Center TV website. Thank you for watching on the West Bloomfield Township website, where our video player is now. And thank you for listening on our great radio stations, 88.1. Well, you say it. It's your radio station.
Yeah, thank you for listening on one of our partnering radio stations, 88.1 The Biff.
Where that's where you learned how to do all this.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you to Ron and the whole crew over there. And thank you for listening right here on 89.3 WBLD Lakes FM. Very quick break. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. Don't go away.
Make sure to adopt. Each year, 2.7 million dogs are euthanized. Too many pets come into shelters, and there is not enough room for them all. Dogs help your emotional and psychological health. They bring you tons of joy. All they want in life is to be near you and to make you happy. Save a life, make a new friend, adopt today. For more information, go to www.humanesociety.org. Again, that's www.humanesociety.org. This message is brought to you by 98.3 Lakes FM and the WBHS Digital Media Arts Program.
Some of our fine students in West Bloomfield. By the way, these students that are on these radio stations that we're on right now that we've borrowed during this crisis because the students really aren't in school, the broadcasting work they do is amazing. And when things get back to normal, make sure you tune in to 88.1 The Biff. Make sure you tune in here to 89.3 Lakes FM for students and other broadcasters. And hopefully we'll have some good news about some additional radio stations joining us here in the next couple of days. So business obviously affected throughout our area. Joining us now, Joe Bauman. He's the president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. And Joe, hello. Welcome to the Megacast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you got yourself set up pretty well there with the Zoom. You did well. Have you been on Zoom much?
More and more so every day. It's kind of the way to communicate these days.
It is, unfortunately. But, you know, out of this, good will come. We're learning how to interact a lot more via the internet, and that's a good thing. So you are the what's your official title? Director, President, CEO?
So I'm the president for the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber.
All right.
Our chamber incorporates 6 communities: Birmingham, Bloomfield Hills, Bloomfield Township, Beverly Hills, Bingham Farms, and Franklin. We have about 700 member businesses in those 6 communities.
So I really appreciate you joining us. How is business doing? I can tell you as a businessman, it's tough right now. What are you seeing in the communities you serve, Joe?
It's very tough. We've all heard the stories of which industries were the hardest hit. It really began with the restaurant industries, but has really kind of now spread to all of what would be considered Main Street retail. Most of the stores in downtown Birmingham have closed, and it's really, it's almost surreal when you go down the streets and you don't see any people, which is normally, you know, downtown Birmingham and Franklin and strip centers in Bloomfield Township are all bustling centers, and now you just don't see anyone. So our members are having a very difficult time. They're doing what they can, trying to do with online sales and carry out, but it just can't, it can't make up for the loss of business. So now what we're trying to do with our members is help them navigate the myriad programs and assistance that's being offered by the county, the state, and the federal government, so they can get some relief until this thing starts turning around.
Well, and I was really impressed because in addition to doing the show, I do run a business, and we've got 20 employees, and it's very difficult for us. I'm really happy to say that we've not laid off anybody in our business, and in my business, the audiovisual event business is totally shut down immediately, like hotels and others. Are just no one's meeting anymore. Extremely challenging. But the programs that are out there and the resources, and we're going to talk to some of the folks in the Oakland County Business Development Unit because they're doing really great. We have SCORE out there. The SBA programs are fantastic, and but you got to get out. It's a lot of work. You got to get out, do the paperwork, apply for these loans and grants, and do it right away. And the big one right now, Joe, that everyone's talking about is this paycheck program that they just came out that was part of the federal program that was just passed, where you're going to be able to go to a bank, your local bank that you've been doing business with, and work out a loan that'll cover 8 or 10 weeks, will cover your payroll, and it turns into a grant that you don't have to pay back. Are your businesses excited about that and talking about that? Do you think a lot of them will be applying for that relief?
They are. And again, we've been sharing all the updated information we can. In fact, the Treasury Department just last night finally released the link for the actual application. Businesses can start applying for those grants, the loans that convert to grants beginning Friday morning. So we're telling our members they should be taking a 3-step process right now as it relates to investigating and taking advantage of some of these benefits. The first one is to take a minute and breathe. Just relax, don't panic. There's plenty of time to avail yourselves of the opportunities that are out there. The second thing is, if they have an accountant or a payroll specialist, they should be talking with them to make sure they have all the documentation that they're going to need before they actually begin the process. The third thing they should then do is contact their lender. If they have a preferred lender, someone they already have a relationship with, they should contact them right away. So when the application period opens and they want to take advantage of it, they'll be ready to go. You can go on the Department of Treasury's website right now and see the actual application, so you get an idea of the documentation you're going to need. It's also available on the State of Michigan site, and it's also on the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber's website, which is www.bbcc.com. We have an entire resource page of information from everyone from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Department of Labor, the Treasury Department, from banks and lawyers, all related to that. But there's not a rush. The money's not going to run out for the foreseeable future. So people, business owners should take their time, understand the programs, and then get some great advice from either their accountants and or their bankers as to what makes the most sense for them.
Joe, I'm so glad you're on the show. That was outstanding. Perfect. Exactly what we needed. And I'm doing pretty good. I was keeping my scorecard. Talk to the bank. Yep, did that. Put a check right there. Talk to my accountant CPA. Yes, I did that. Breathe. Breathe. No, didn't do that. So hold on.
That's important.
Well,
Everybody just
yeah.
they need to just relax and try to keep, and these are very emotional times, especially for small business owners who have literally put their lives and their heart and souls into their business, and they're legitimately concerned whether they're going to be able to stay in business. But we have to get past that initial emotion and really come at it more pragmatically, just like you would any major business or financial decision you make on behalf of your business and your employees.
Joe Bauman is with us, president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber, joining us today in the Megacast on 88.1, the Biff, 89.3, Lakes FM, Civic Center TV. We're also on the Keego Harbor Police Department Facebook Live page. Joe, there are thousands of people that check that Facebook out, so we're really excited about being with them today. And of course, CivicCenterTV.com. Go there, you can see the whole thing. Oh, and a big shout out too to the West Bloomfield Township IT department and the webmasters there. They added us to their homepage. Joe, really glad to see that you have added that information to your website. And I'm going to ask the guys during the show today to see if they can put a link to your content, if you don't mind, because I want to get that stuff. I want to get that stuff on our website, and I'll show everybody in a minute where they can go on our website. But it's CivicCenterTV.com/coronavirus, and you'll find a lot of information right there. And then, Joe, we will put the link right to your information. Glad to hear the Treasury Department's getting it together. This one is different than the SBA disaster loans and other loans, because this one you get to work with your banker. And, you know, I just as one business person, I got a pretty good relationship with my banker. I know her. She knows me. We've worked together on projects in the past. I already talked to her. She said, hang on. She told me the same thing you said. She said, Dave, it's okay. Take a breath. We're going to get this done for you if we can. But this is a good program because the bankers, the people you know right here in our own community, are going to be the ones you have to implement it with, and I think that's going to get these loans out quicker.
I think it will too, and that is a great component of the program that you get to, if you have one, you get to work with a familiar face. For any small business owner who doesn't have that kind of relationship with a lending institution, the Chamber is always happy to refer them to one of our preferred lenders and one of our fellow Chamber members that we have total and complete trust in, that they will do the right thing and help them in any way that they can. I also wanted to mention that in addition to our website, we are pushing out information and links and other stuff via our social media outlets. In addition to our website, in an even more immediate fashion, I encourage everybody to follow our Facebook page, follow our Twitter account, because we're broadcasting all of the information on those vehicles as well.
How many followers do you have on Facebook, Joe? This is a selfish request. Because
I can't say a direct number. I do know that it's in the thousands.
Excellent. So I'll make this offer on the air because then you can't say no. But if you want to be one of our Facebook partners, we could have done it today, but we already had Keego Harbor. We would love to broadcast the show and have you come back on again. You don't have to do it, but if you want to, I think your constituents might find that it's helpful, and it's just another way to let people know what's going on and let them know about the resources that are available. So I'll go out and take a look at all your social and your web, and we're going to link to you big time. But it sounds like you're right on top of this, and thank goodness that we've got Zoom. Thank goodness we've got this technology, because the businesses and then just all of us would really, I think, feel isolated right now without it.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to come back on. I'd be happy to be a partner. We are committed to providing not only our members, but the entire business community, and really the entire community, with the best, most accurate, non-emotional, updated information possible that's out there. And we know it can be overwhelming for an individual business owner or a resident to try to get a handle on all this stuff themselves. And so that's why we're trying to package it into one sheet information documents that we're creating. So it almost becomes like a one-stop shop. There's assistance being offered by the county, by the state, and the federal government. So it can be overwhelming, and we're just trying to do whatever we can to make sure that we make it as easy as possible for people to access the information, to digest it, understand it, and most importantly, to get it working for them so we can make sure that our stores and our restaurants do make it through to the other side, because there will be another side. We don't know when that's going to be yet, but there will be. And we want to make sure that our favorite stores and restaurants and mom and pops and sole proprietors are still available to us to enjoy going forward.
All right. Well, we want to make sure that there's, listen, I grew up in West Bloomfield a long time ago, but I've been here most of my life, and barring a couple of years up in northern Michigan. And, traveling to downtown Birmingham and spending a day shopping in downtown Birmingham, enjoying all the other businesses that we have in West Bloomfield and Bloomfield and this entire area. It's an amazing area. It really is. And we get to live and work in a great area. And right now, our businesses, especially those people, the restaurants in particular, that are trying to stay open and keep their doors open and get us a good meal and keep a couple of their employees there, they got a handful. I mean, they really do have a handful. So, I salute the first responders, but I also salute your constituents, your members, the business people trying to make it happen. It isn't easy. We got to run. I know you got another Zoom meeting to do here in a couple of minutes. So thanks for your time today. Anything you want to close with? Anything you want to promote? Any businesses or anything you want to give a shout out to, or anything you want to use this platform for the next minute or two?
I just want to say that, we always talk about the importance of shopping local. And that's not always possible in these days. But I would, if you have a favorite store, if you have a favorite restaurant, call them, find out if they are offering curbside delivery, pickup, if they're doing carry out, if they're a restaurant, if a store, if they can accept sales online and then have curbside pickup. Or if even if you can't do all that, consider going on the websites of your favorite places and buying gift cards for future use, because they're going to need us now, but they're going to need us even more, like I said, when we get to this other side, because they're going to need business to rebuild their business. So whatever you can do to support your favorites in town and continue to shop local, that's what I would do. And in the meantime, as the chief said on the program before me about being nice to those who are working very hard at considerable personal risk to make sure that we have all the essential goods that we need, you should do that with your fellow resident as well, and all of the employees that you come in contact, and know that if you're not getting the service that you're used to, there's a reason why. It's not because they don't want to. They're very shorthanded. They're all on skeleton crews, and they're doing the best that they can do. So please, please, please be supportive and also be kind.
Joe Bauman, well said. Don't tell my cardiologist, but I'm dying for a Hunter House hamburger right now. So have you had one of those, Tyler?
It's been a while, but I support that.
There you go. Are they one of your members, Joe? They're right there in Birmingham.
Absolutely. Longtime members and supporters of the chamber.
Okay. All right. Just one of the many restaurants in Birmingham that we love. Hey, thanks, Joe. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share some information.
We're going to keep in touch, okay? Well, this is not a one-hit visit. We'll do it again real soon. All right. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Good talking to you today. He is Joe Bauman, the president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment, and we'll see what our service clubs are up to. Cynthia Hill, the assistant governor of the Rotary Club of West Bloomfield, joins us in just a minute via Zoom, and a whole lot more information. And back to Joe just for a second. We're going to get all the information that he said posted on our website. I'll go to break and call our webmasters, and any of that information that he talked about from the Treasury Department and other sources, we'll have a link for you at civiccentertv.com coronavirus/coronavirus, and we'll get that up for you in just a minute. You're listening to the Megacast. We're on 89.3 Lakes FM from our Lakes FM studios, also on 88.1 WBFH The Biff. Thank you so much for being with us today. You can watch us on civiccentertv.com, channel 15 and channel 99 on AT&T, and join us on the Civic Center TV website. Shout out today to the Keego Harbor Police Department, where we are on their Facebook Live, and another shout out today to West Bloomfield Township for putting us on their home page. We'll be back in a moment.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
There we go. Welcome back to the Megacast. Sorry about that. I'm Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe out of the studio for just a minute. He'll check back in a moment. We want to thank you for tuning in across the Megacast. So our show is not a radio broadcast. It's not a simulcast. Simulcast would be radio and TV. It's a Megacast because we're everywhere. We're on 2 FM radio stations, all over cable TV, on websites all around. And today we want to thank the Keego Harbor Police Department for putting us on their Facebook Live, West Bloomfield Township for putting us on their homepage. We invite you to check out our broadcast, our Megacast, if you will, on civiccentertv.com, Civic Center TV Channel 15 in the West Bloomfield area. Other TV channels to come, we hope, in the next couple of days, and on our 2 radio stations. And just a little secret, we'll probably have some more radio stations in a couple of days, too. The team is working really hard behind the scenes. But today, we're really happy to be on our flagship, 89.3 Lakes FM, and so happy to be working with WBFH, 88.1 WBHF, the Biff. So wherever you are, you can tune in our Lakes, Bloomfield area and tune in to the broadcast. So really good to hear from Joe at the Bloomfield Birmingham Chamber and John Fitzgerald, Keego Harbor Police Chief. Joining us now, Cynthia Hill, the Assistant Governor of the Rotary Club of West Bloomfield. And Cynthia, you got the Zoom thing worked out pretty good. We see you. You look great. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, I would rather see you in person, you and your wonderful husband, Dr. Hill, but good to see you virtually. Glad we can stay connected, and thank you for joining us today in the Megacast.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to have you here. So, Cynthia Hill is, and your husband as well, very involved in Rotary of West Bloomfield. And tell us, how's everything going at Rotary? Are you guys able to meet, stay connected, work on your projects?
Well, we can't meet, of course, although we had our first Zoom meeting last week with our board, and we're having our first Zoom social with our members tomorrow. So we're hoping that most of them will be able to figure this technology out and join us so that we can see them and reach out to them. We're trying to keep our service projects going. That's a little more challenging from the virtual standpoint because most of what we do involves touching people, but we're brainstorming ways that we can connect with the community, ways that we can stay involved with the community, and most importantly, ways that we can help. So we have a few ideas that we're testing out. We have someone, even as we speak, who's out delivering meals for the Meals on Wheels people. And we're just discussing as a group how we can stay involved, stay connected.
You know, it gets to be a challenge that, because we've talked through a lot of different things that we want to do here with the assets that we have. And then you get down the road and you go, well, I don't know if that's compliant with the governor's order, with what the president has said, or with what the county has said. So it gets to be a challenge to do the good work that we know we need to do in this current crisis.
Well, I've been doing some phone calls just to see what is available, where we can help. And a couple of the things that we've explored as a group are obviously donating. There are a lot of causes that need money right now, more money than actual physical help at this stage of the game because of the restrictions that are in place. So there's that possibility for us, but just reaching out and calling people in the community. So one of the initiatives that I think we're going to try is to connect with some of the assisted living facilities. A couple of the people I talked to yesterday indicated that cards and notes would be welcome for residents who need a little bit of support during this very difficult time. So I'm hoping that our group can provide some sunshine in that way. We are trying to think of a way that we can continue one of our service projects with the school district, Rotary Readers. We have about 15 Rotarians who come into an elementary classroom on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to read a story to that particular class. And I think there's a way that we can do that once the spring break is over. I think we can continue that program. We also work with English language learners at the adult level to help them practice their English skills, and that's an extension of a West Bloomfield School District program as well. I think we're close to being able to resurrect that program too. So there are some things that people can do, and we would welcome support and help from anyone in the community who wants to join in with the programs that we're putting together.
Cynthia Hill from West Bloomfield Rotary, if somebody does want to help you financially or offer some other help, how would they do so?
Well, you could reach out through our Gmail account. So it's westbloomfieldrotary@gmail.com. We are on Facebook, although we're not real active. That's another thing that we probably should beef up, but you could messenger us that way as well. So I personally look at most of those messages that are coming, or all of the messages, not most of them, that are coming through our various accounts. So there's that possibility to have an immediate response. And then we have a website, westbloomfieldrotary.org, that has information about what we're doing. So there's another way to stay connected.
Yeah, that's all great, and I thank you very much for sharing that. And I know, you're one Rotary. There are a number of other Rotaries in our service area now, and I know you all talk to each other and share notes and are communicating and seeing if there's anything that you can do collectively and together. And, sometimes just talking to somebody else when we're stuck in our homes, maybe making a phone call, as you recommended earlier, to people that are in nursing homes that can't really have guests, but also, getting some strategery worked out with other, that's an official word, by the way, with other folks and other organizations and other Rotaries. I'm sure that's going on. I'm sure those conversations are happening. We have a lot of really great Rotarians all across Oakland County, and without knowing the specifics of what they're doing, I'm sure there's an awful lot of great work going on.
There is, we're part of a district of 53 clubs, and your previous guest, Joe Bauman, is actually a very active Rotarian in the Birmingham club. So
that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, They're a great club. They do a lot of outreach, and all of our clubs do. So I'm an assistant governor for the district, and I work with 5 other clubs, not West Bloomfield, but 5 other clubs in our Rotary district, which is Oakland County, Washtenaw County, Livingston, Macomb, and then part of Kent County in Ontario. So we're at the district level, we're looking at ways that we can conduct, and then clubs that just have a natural affinity because of their area are working together to see what else that is available that we can all do to help the community, because that's really what Rotary is all about. Our motto is service above self, and what we want to do is serve our communities and serve the world.
Well, I appreciate you serving the world today by spending a moment and being with us. And I do have to say that when I talked to your husband, Jerry Hill, Dr. Jerry Hill, the superintendent of schools in West Bloomfield, and Pat Watson in Bloomfield Hills, and the other superintendents we've had on, I am so amazed at what's going on in our school districts, in our area. They have, most of our communities are bedroom communities, and they are the serious pillars of these communities that are standing up tall right now, making sure people are getting fed regardless of whether they're students in their district or not, getting people educated, getting computers out to folks that don't have them. I mean, and rolling all this out in such an amazing way that it's got to be heroic work going on in West Bloomfield that you're really close to, Bloomfield Hills, Walled Lake, all the other districts we've been talking to. It's just amazing. And is your husband getting any rest at all right now?
He's pretty busy. He's on a call right now, as a matter of fact. I don't know where he is, but somewhere else in the house. So the superintendents are meeting on a daily basis. He's meeting with his district leaders, and the West Bloomfield School District's collective efforts are impressive, I agree. They care a lot about the community. They care a lot about their students, and they're continually discussing what else they can do to help, not only from a learning standpoint, but a social, emotional standpoint, because that's obviously very critical as well.
And it's got to be a tough... Send them our regards, and I know it's got to be a very tough time right now. We expect tomorrow, I mean, the announcement hasn't been made unless it happened when I got on the air today, but we expect tomorrow that the governor is going to, tomorrow or the next day, say school's done for the year. Pretty much we know that's coming. There's been a lot of talk about that. It's going to be tough. It was tough to hear the president yesterday say 30 more days. It's going to be tough to get through April. We're losing too many of our neighbors and our friends. So, we're going to go through a very, very difficult week. And, I want to keep in touch with you, keep in touch with your husband, keep in touch with people. If you see anything going on, you're a great pillar in our communities, not just here in West Bloomfield, but across the area. And if there's anything that needs to be communicated, let us know. And let's just keep talking. We'll get through this, don't you think?
Great. I know we will. I think this is bringing out the best in people. And in some ways, this gives us an opportunity to rethink what's important and perhaps adjust our priorities a bit. So we'll make it. We will. And it's a great community. We're so pleased to be a part of it. And thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about what we're doing at Rotary. And just a plug for Jerry, my husband, he is our current president of Rotary. So we have a great asset in him, because one of our primary focuses is literacy and youth, children. So he's obviously in a position to help us extend the services and the good work that we want to.
And clearly he doesn't have enough to do with his time. So, all right, you two, right. You're so involved. Take care of your health too. Please be careful. Just please take care of yourself. You're such valuable assets to our communities. We appreciate you being with us on the Megacast today.
Well, and we appreciate you. Thank you for what you and your entire staff is doing. We really can't thank you enough for keeping the community connected. that's important too. So take care of your health, all of you as well.
We are doing the very best we can. Cynthia Hill, thank you very much for joining us today in the Megacast. Really good to have you with us. Tyler Keefe back in the studio. You know, it's people like Cynthia Hill, and there are just so many of them, Tyler, that are doing amazing things in our community. And they're not just doing one thing, they're doing 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And it's with these kind of people like Cynthia, and Joe was on a couple of minutes ago, that I just have faith we're going to make it through this.
Yeah, and these community organizations are still exceptionally active during this time and continuing to do great things. I mean, we've talked to a lot of people over the last few weeks that we've been at this who have been volunteering their talents, their services, their time, taking risks themselves to help other people. And, you know, Rotarians like Cynthia and her fellow Rotarians in West Bloomfield and all throughout the communities that we're serving here with this show, they're doing great things in the community and continuing to do it. And it's them that are giving people a sense of hope in this really trying time.
Well, we appreciate it. We are going to be back in a moment. We got a lot of news to get to. We've been busy with our guests. We'll take some opportunity to go through the website. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the new services and information that's available to you through our website and our partner websites. Get on some of the big coronavirus news of the day, and we have an hour more packed with plenty of interesting guests to talk through today's challenges and solutions. So don't go away. I'm Dave Scott. He's Tyler Keefe. We are here in the Lakes FM studio. We thank so much 88.1 WBFH, the Biff, for joining us here on our Megacast today. 89.3 Lakes FM, Civic Center TV. Hi, everybody watching on Civic Center TV. We thank you very much for being with us. CivicCenterTV.com on the internet, and a big shout out and thank you to the Keego Harbor Police Department for sharing your Facebook page with us today where we are live. I'm Dave Scott. We'll be back in a moment. This is the Megacast.
Have you had to choose between picking up a prescription or buying groceries, paying your utility bill, or insulating your attic? You're not alone. Every day, people across Michigan are faced with choices. Michigan Community Action is a network of agencies helping people achieve greater financial and personal independence through programs such as weatherization, food distribution, utility assistance, and Head Start preschools. The programs supported by Michigan Community Action benefit people all over the state. Maybe you've just lost your job and are having trouble making ends meet. Or maybe you're retired and Social Security isn't enough. Whatever your situation, we may be able to help. Visit MichiganCommunityAction.org or call 855-MI-ACTION to find out more. Helping people, changing lives. Sponsored by Michigan Community Action and Michigan Broadcasters.
And welcome back to the Megacast. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, and we thank you for joining us on 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com, 88.1 WBFH, the Biff. Thank you so much for being with us. We also want to thank you for tuning in on Civic Center TV, Channel 15 and Channel 99 and AT&T. You can watch at CivicCenterTV.com. You can watch today in the West Bloomfield Township website right in the homepage, and you can also watch in the Keego Harbor Fire Department Facebook page where we are streaming live on Facebook Live, right?
It is. Yeah, we are live today with, of course, partnering with the organization of which our first guest, John Fitzgerald, the police chief over in Keego, the Keego Harbor Police Department.
So a lot going on the Civic Center TV website. We have an amazing team of people that we are keeping employed right now, and 99% of what they're doing, Tyler, our Motown Digital staff is working on this website. They're doing a really great job. So go to CivicCenterTV.com, and when you get there, hit the coronavirus link. I'm going to take you to that page for those of you that are watching on television right now. This page, the team has done a really amazing job with this page. And in here, you can see at the top of the page, or if you're listening on the radio, you will find that there are links to all of the municipal resources, and we'll continue to add additional communities to the top of the page. Each of these communities has done a really good job getting their information on board. Then, in addition, very helpful articles with the top news of the day, not what you'll see on CNN, but the top news of the day that impacts you right here in Bloomfield Hills, in Birmingham, in Bloomfield Township, in West Bloomfield, in Keego Harbor, in Walled Lake. For example, there is a teletown hall with Senator Jim Runstead. It's happening today at 5 o'clock. And if you want to join in on that, all you got to do is click here. I think it'll be interesting to see what the senator has to say about some big decisions that need to be made with education here in the state and much more. So we've been hearing from the governor. For many of you listening today, he is your local state senator, Jim Runstead, and we will hear from him tonight at 5 o'clock, and you can participate, ask some questions, and find out more. You know, Tyler, one of the challenges I've had the last couple of days, I've needed a couple of groceries. And I'm a grocery shopper that likes to go to the grocery store every day. Obviously, I've had to stop that. But I needed some soda pop, and I didn't want to go in the store. I've not gotten it the last couple of days. I'm just drinking water, which is healthier anyway. But, you know, you bring this stuff home from the store, and now you got a whole other set of problems because your perfectly sanitized, safe home can be infected with the groceries that you're bringing in to sustain yourself. It's a real challenge.
Yeah, it's something different to think about because, you know, you're thinking about keeping yourself sanitary and washing your hands and keeping your surfaces clean in the home, but you gotta have that same mindset wherever you're at. So you go to the grocery store and you have to make sure that when you get there, you're keeping your cart sanitary, that after you've picked up your groceries, you're making sure that they are sanitized before you bring them in to your home, because the goal here has been to keep yourself and to keep others safe from this virus, and sanitation has been a primary point of that all along.
So if you need to figure out how do you do it? Okay, so go to the webpage, go to civiccentertv.com, and there's a great article here. You can click on it from Click on Detroit, how to handle groceries safely during the coronavirus pandemic. I'm not going to take you through all this, but you got to keep your groceries outside for 3 days if you can. Maybe you can do a real good job of sanitizing them. Don't do what I did. I just took my groceries. I didn't know any better. Took the groceries, brought them into the house and put them on the shelf. But no, you got to get out. You know, you got to get your wipes. Got to get the wipes out, and then you got to get the Clorox out and wipe them all down. You can, you know, like with a loaf of bread, they said you could take the bread out of the plastic wrapper, put it in a plastic container, get that plastic wrapper out of your house because it could have the coronavirus all over it. You know, I'm feeling pretty safe as a single guy living alone. I figure I get into my apartment, then nothing's going to get me. And then I wake up this morning and read this, and so here's all the information about groceries and how to handle them. Another really good story on the website from CNN about how to coronavirus-proof your home. I would strongly advise you to read that. Don't worry about your mail. Interesting article from the United States Postal Service, what to do and how to properly receive your mail. Bloomfield Township Public Library with information. And then, of course, the most up-to-date current information is here about the depth and spread of the coronavirus. And if you want to find out right down to your zip code, let me show you where you can do that. You can go to the Civic Center TV site and go to Oakland County. There it is, Oakland County Resources. And in here, when you mine through this, you're going to go to the Oakland County page, and you will find the map that you can go in, put your zip code in, and find out exactly what's going on. By the way, big shout-out to Joe Bauman, who was on the show a little earlier today. Here is the Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce website. And look at the resources they have here, all the things we were talking about. Oakland County information, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and there are links here into this new loan program. So if you've not been to their site, it's bbcc.com. That's easy. Yeah. And you can go in there and get all the information you need for your business as we get deeper into the coronavirus. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be back, and we got a whole another hour here of the show and some great guests, so don't go away. You are watching the Megacast on Civic Center TV, civiccentertv.com, West Bloomfield Township webpage, and, of course, the Keego Harbor Police Department Facebook page, and listening today to 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills and 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake. By the way, I got to admit, the Biff's got a much better signal in Keego Harbor and Sylvan Lake than Lakes FM does. Our Keego Harbor and Sylvan Lake fans are loving it right now.
They are. They're getting great signal, and it's, again, just another reason for us to have such a great partnership with the Biff on this.
Thanks, Ron. We appreciate it so much. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Megacast.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you will feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to the Megacast here on 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com. The Biff, 88.1 WBFH. We thank them for being here. Civic Center TV and all the rest. We just listed down the whole group. You know where we're at. So good to have you. It's not a radio broadcast, not a TV broadcast. It's a Megacast. It's everywhere. And Tyler, I could tell him, but it's kind of, I can't yet. But we'll have more outlets here hopefully in the next couple days.
Oh.
So we are working really hard. The Megacast is going to get a little bit more mega here, but we are not going to lose our commitment to serving you here in our local communities. That's what makes us special. Speaking of special, joining us now via Zoom is Stacie Zotkovich. She recently had her position eliminated. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
I did.
I'm sorry, Stacie. Hello. She will talk about the duties and challenges families are dealing with being together so much of the day. She's the mother of an 8 and 12-year-old who are now home from school all day. How's that going, Stacie? How's that working for you?
It is going fine, no problem at all. It's an adjustment, as I'm sure all of the families and people across the world are experiencing. But I think if we just understand the values and bringing back family values, it's a kind of a nice thing. And I think once everybody gets back into that new change, and then when we start to go back to normal, I think it's going to be an adjustment again. So I think we all have to really think about how we're handling things, and just it's on your thoughts and how you're going to proceed every day.
We really wanted to have you on today because you're the most positive person I know. You know, and if there's a dark side to this whole thing, you will find the bright side. The person who said turning lemons into lemonade, they were talking about you, Stacie. So what is your spin on all this? There's got to be a good side to all this, because I got to be honest, it was tough. I had a really hard night last night. Watched the president say 30 more days. I got that Oakland County map out that we have linked on our website. I put my zip code in. Oh no, are you kidding? And then look, I'll be honest. I'll say it right here on TV. I am 61 years old. And I could lose a few pounds. So
you're still young. Lots of life left in you.
So you think about all this, and your mind starts spinning. What do you got for us today?
Well, I think whatever the situation that we're in, it's all in how you handle it. I mean, life is constantly changing. There's no doubt about that. And just like this is a new situation for all of us. And we are not in control of the situation. However, we are in control of the outcome of what our everyday life is going to be. And just like you're right, the first thing that you said is, "Oh, I heard your position was eliminated." It was. And sure, it might have been a interesting, difficult situation and conversation, but I decided to put my big girl pants on and said, okay, what am I going to do now? I am enjoying time with my family, my kids. I have some exciting new news to share with you guys, and you're the first to get this.
All right, ladies.
I want to share with all of you.
I don't have a drum roll, but go ahead.
Oh, come on, it's good. Okay, I'm going to share my screen for a minute. So, before I do that, some of you know I have a positive shift book. It's a #1 Amazon best-selling book called Positive Shift Ahead. It's 16 ways to redirect negative thoughts quickly. And I did that because of all of my experiences in life to show that we have similar struggles and circumstances. I am not alone. I've been through a lot. And even though I do have a positive outlook, I have been through the worst. I've been on my hands and knees and in tears, and I had to use my own methods, my own redirecting, and my own tools, just like I'm offering everybody out there to be able to experience and kind of see, how does Stacie do it? Well, I can tell you how. I can show you how, and I can give you the tools, and that's what I would like to offer. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I am going to take you to my website. It's stacierenee.com, and of course, don't coast to neutral, positive shift ahead. And I am offering everybody, because of this, for the month of April, a free or complimentary 15-minute mini shift. And if they're really down in the dumps, I want to be able to provide that service to them. So you can actually go down to the bottom or just click on request consultation here. And this is where my drum roll comes. Brrr, I'll do it myself. I am on the front lines of having my own Stacie Renee app. So exciting. I'm going to be a front runner in this. And I believe you already had Mark Russell from Catalyst XL on to say how easy it is to do an app.
Yeah, he's building an app for us too. So, right. having an app right now with everyone going digital seems to be a good way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a little preview of what is going to be happening, and it's going to be actually live next week. So I invite everybody to please go to my website, stacierenee.com, and get information and download my app when it's available. And you can kind of go through the rest of it. It tells a little bit about me, my keynote speaking. If you did want to purchase the book, it's readily available to just by the click of a button. And then just about life coaching. We all need some interesting things and how to deal with them in life. So I just unshared it. So now I'm back.
It's good to have you back.
Okay?
The thing in the Zoom world is you can just hijack this interview anytime you want to put your website up there. I like that.
I know I did.
No, that's cool. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. That's really it's fine, and I'm glad you did, because you got a great website, and we want to have you here today talking about these things, Stacie. So I'm feeling down in the dumps. Okay, I mean, do we go through this on our own, or is it important that we reach out to somebody right now?
It is okay. So everyone says social distancing, right? I mean, that's kind of the buzzword, but here's my thought on the social distancing. That is great, but it's not the reality of it. We need to be physically distancing. So physical distancing is what we need to do. Social distancing is not so much. We still need to reach out to our friends. We still need to do, Zoom has definitely gotten a lot of people attention and meetings. I had one for the chamber yesterday morning, and it was great to actually see my colleagues. I know I've also used House Party to connect with some of my girlfriends, and we actually had a house party cocktail night, and it was so much fun. We were on it for about 2.5 hours, laughing, just having a really good time. So yes, you can physically be distanced, but don't socialize and socially be distanced.
I like that. I like that. If we get nothing else done today, that was worth the price of admission, Stacie, because you are so on target. So I'm going to our COVID-19 vocabulary that we've established here, and I'm going to cross off social distancing. And every time we talk about that, as we talk about Flatten the Curve and Happy Birthday Song, and we'll go through this in a couple of minutes with Tyler. Let's morph social distancing into physical distancing, and let's stay connected socially. We got all the tools to do it. That's what we're doing right now.
Right. And Dave, let me ask you, when is the last time you went outside for a walk?
Well, I try to go for a walk every day, so I walk around my neighborhood. I have to, and let me be honest, I'm not a big walker. I have never been a big walker, but it's fun going out for a walk right now. For goodness sakes, I'm just dying to get out of the house. I can't,
it feels good.
Can't go anywhere else. So it feels great. It's going to be really nice the next couple of days. Good time to do it.
Yeah, and for those of you who are getting housebound and not really sure what you can do, go for a walk. I took the kids to the park. We walked through the woods, and they asked me, like, when can we do that again? Because it wasn't in our norm, and it was a lot of fun, and it didn't hurt. We ran into some other neighbors, and we kept the social, or the physical distancing, but we kept the social aspect together, and I think that was really great. And, my other thing is if you are really feeling crazy and housebound, I want you to just throw on some music, throw your arms up in the air, and be like, woo! And I think a lot of that is how you feel, because you feel so much better. Let's be honest. You have to be energetic. You have to be the decider in your own day. And a positive thought in the morning will change your whole day.
All right, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I just listen for my neighbors, because I live in an apartment building. Don't call my local police department, but I will do that. I listen. That's okay. I think it's a great idea. Stacie, thank you so much for joining us. You are a super upbeat, positive person. You're right here in our communities. You're a local voice. We want to keep in touch with you, and good luck with your book. I mean, and good luck with your speaking tour and all the things you're doing. Stacie's got an amazing story. Go to her website, check it out, and again, tell us about your 15-minute offer one more time before we say so long.
So, as a life coach and just being available to people, sometimes you don't know. You want to get out so bad, and you want to just redirect your thoughts, but you don't know how to do it. And I am offering for the month of April, and if we have to go into May, I'll do that too, but I know that time slots are going to be filling up quickly, according to my schedule as well. And I will do a Zoom complimentary 15-minute mini shift to get you on the right track. Now, I can give you the tools, but it's their job and responsibility to fulfill that. And if they don't, then they're not ready. And I'm hoping that with people being in this mindset of feeling like you're at home and not really knowing what to do, take this opportunity to have my complimentary 15-minute mini shift. I mean, it's there for you. I'd love to offer it up and help people. All
right. Well, I just used up my 15 minutes with you, but thank you very much for being with us. We really appreciate it. Let's keep in touch. Anything we could do to help. It's really good to see you. And I love it. I love it. That's so on target.
Thanks,
social distancing, see ya. Physical distancing, that's what we're going to do. Thank you, Stacie.
Yes, I love it.
All right.
Doesn't it feel better to know that it's going to be just socially connected?
It is, and thank you for helping us all feel better today. Good to talk to you.
And Dave, before we go, I want to challenge everybody out there to pick up the phone, challenge yourself for the month of April, because it is a great month. Go ahead and contact 2 people a day that you have not spoken to or talked to in a very long time. And I will tell you, it will really feel good. Don't text. I mean, if you can't get a hold of them, or just texting is more comfortable at the point, try that first. But I challenge everybody out there watching this to pick up the phone, call 2 people a day, not just at one time a day, but 2 times a day. I'm sorry, 2 people every day for April.
We got
and
it.
Just tell me how it makes you feel.
I already feel better. Thank you, Stacie. Great to have you with us. Great advice, and more information on Stacie's book and all that she's doing in her availability in the 15-minute session she is offering free of charge for you right now to just help you cope. We'll get it all up on our website. Stacie Zotkovich, we thank you so much for being with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment. You are watching the Megacast. This is 89.3 Lakes FM, 88.1 WBFH The Biff, Civic Center TV in West Bloomfield, and the rest of the Megacast family of outlets. Back in a moment.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace. Learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to the Megacast on 88.1 WBFH The Biff, 89.3 Lakes FM, Civic Center TV, Channel 15, Channel 19, and then Channel 99 on AT&T. I want to thank the West Bloomfield Township folks for getting us on their website today, and a big thank you also to the Keego Harbor Fire Department for putting us on the Facebook page there. We have a different Facebook partner each and every day, and we so appreciate it. Just want to let our crew know that Larry Nyland can join us via Skype here, the producer of Skype, via Zoom, producer of our show. I know he's out there somewhere. We'll connect with him in a minute. Tyler Keefe is in the studio with us, and a lot of great guests today, a lot of great advice, combination of the information you need from your local law enforcement folks, and then a little bit of getting our heads screwed on straight today. Hopefully it's helping folks out.
Yeah, it's good to hear. And it's good to hear from people who are giving us not only news and outlets for important information, but there's a lot of negative stuff out there, and it's a hard time to get through mentally. And so they have guests like Stacie on who are helping people find ways to work through that and stay as positive as they possibly can, and it's a good mixture of outlets.
It is. Joining us right now, we had him on TV a moment ago. He is a producer of the Megacast. The guy's working 24/7 to put the show together each and every day. Larry Nyland from his home via Zoom. Hi, Larry. How you doing today?
Yeah, I just wanted to continue that positive energy that Stacie just brought us, so that's why you went to me.
It is. Well, you're a very positive person. You just, you do your positive thing in your own way. It's, yours is turned down a notch or two, but I always get something very positive. Larry, you got a very positive vibe. That's why we love to have you on the team.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So I was kind of wondering, as we go through the news of the day, how you doing with your groceries? So I've been totally screwing that up, and just going to the store, bringing the groceries in, and I know you're much better about all these things than I am. So have you been going through leave the groceries outside, clean them all off, or what's been your deal?
I have not been doing it that well. I mean, see, I got messed up in that I had been going to Meijer about like 2-3 in the morning, and going there and there'd be like 5 people shopping. So I kind of was like one of the only people in there, and I kind of felt good that no one else had touched any of my stuff. Now Meijer changed their hours to where they close at 10 o'clock, so I have to go with everybody else. But when I get home, like I try to leave most things in the trunk for like a day or so.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then I'll just bring them back in. I mean, it's just because then like if you start washing, because those Clorox disinfecting wipes, they have a very strong smell to them. It's just kind of difficult to even put that on your boxes.
Hold on,
hold on. Yeah,
yeah.
You got some right there. Don't
Yeah,
you?
I mean,
they're not.
Oh, man.
They're not.
Tyler,
gentle.
how does yours smell?
That's intense.
Yeah, and it's a good point. They do have but they do the job. And to me, that's a smell of clean. That's a smell of
My
safe,
nose is very
Larry.
clean right now. Yes.
So I don't know if that's but I get it. Now, the one day isn't cool, though, Larry Nyland, our producer on Zoom, because they say it takes 3 days for the coronavirus to do its thing, so it's not a problem anymore on surfaces. But I love your ideas better. See, 2 really good ideas in the show today. Stacie's and yours. Don't leave your groceries outside. Someone's going to take them. Leave in your trunk in your car, unless your trunk has a virus in it. I mean, why not? It's a good idea, Larry.
Yeah. I don't think so, but I did make the mistake one time where I had bought some ice cream and forgot about it until the next morning. Yes, ice cream and the trunk in this kind of weather is not a good combination.
So taking a look at our page, Larry, you can jump on the coronavirus page with you. That's what we're looking at right now on TV. The top stories here today. Teletown Hall with Senator Jim Runstead, and that's going to happen at 5 o'clock. We have a link if you want to join in on that. He's our local senator here in our area, and I think we have him booked on the show tomorrow too, don't we?
No, we actually have Representative Jim Berman on. We are in the works to get Jim Runstead on. He's just very busy this week. That's probably going to happen early next week. So.
All right, but again, we'll be talking to folks in Lansing, so nothing wrong with that. And this is a good opportunity for you to participate in that call. Now, if you jump on the call, or if you're participating in a municipal meeting, don't be, and we have a new term to add to our vocabulary, which we're going to go through in a minute. Don't do a Zoom bomb. Do any of you guys know what a Zoom bomb is? No?
I've heard the term, but I have not heard the details of what a Zoom bomb is.
I believe I know.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
I believe that's going to be a situation where you leave your mic unmuted and you are making noise in the background, so it's cutting to you automatically. They're not spotlighting you, which is a Zoom term.
It's actually worse than that.
Oh, no.
It's worse, and I almost don't want to say it because I don't want to promote it.
I think
but,
I know
we're in the municipal meeting business here.
Yes, I know now.
So here's what a Zoom bomb is. A Zoom bomb is somebody, and they log in like multiple times, and they keep saying things that are inappropriate or offensive to interfere with these public meetings. And let me tell you, there's a big article in the Detroit News, so I'm not the only one talking about it, but I know because we're on the other side of this, because we're in the meeting business, there's a lot of planning going on to knock out you Zoom bombers. But don't be a jerk right now. I mean, we're trying to get things done, and people want to have Zoom meetings, and if the best thing you can do with your time is try to screw up somebody's meeting just so you can get a quick little laugh in, leave that to, let's leave that to Howard Stern, really. I mean, we don't need to,
Baba Booey.
we don't
Baba Booey.
we don't need to do that. No Zoom bombing, please, but there, add another term. So information on our site about how to handle groceries, information on our site about mail. I mean, Larry, have you been concerned about even bringing your mail in your home? I guess some people are.
That's another thing that I usually wait 24 hours. I will leave it sitting in there for 24 hours. Then I put the mail in my trunk. Then 24 hours later, I bring it in my apartment. So whether it's doing any good, whether I need to do that or not, but that's the process I have going right now.
I like that. What kind of a car do you drive? You got a big trunk?
No, I mean, it's got so much stuff in it now. No, not too big. But I mean, it's just mail and groceries. I mean, it's big enough for that. And a spare tire.
Information on our site, civiccenter.com/coronavirus. There is the post office information. Our libraries, we need to talk to the West Bloomfield Library. Here's information from the Bloomfield Township Public Library. They're enabling access for their Tumble Book Library. I don't even know what that means. We got to get them on here. Let's read this. Bloomfield Township Public Library would like to remind families and children that the Tumble Book Library is available to access online any time of the day during the statewide shutdown. And here's their website with more information about what the Tumble Book Library is. Not being a parent, I probably wouldn't know about this kind of thing, Tyler.
No, neither would I.
All right.
It's good to look it up.
All right, we will look it up. But there is the information, and I assume that you folks who are parents know all about Tumble Books. The numbers devastating. The president yesterday, the news and the president and the other officials during the national telecast, devastating. Here is a live COVID-19 dashboard straight from Bloomfield Township's COVID-19 awareness page. And you can go on this page and you can see what's going on nationally, how much of a hotbed we unfortunately are here in, I've got to get that on the TV. There we go. Thank you, Tyler. How much of a hotbed we are here in Michigan, in the Bloomfield area. So a lot of really great information there from Bloomfield Township, and there's the link right at civiccentertv.com. A number of other stories. Here's a story here about the Suburban Showplace collection being identified as a possible field hospital. Larry Nyland, I don't know if you saw the reports on TV, but and in the news media, they're making real progress down at TCF. You can see in the pictures, they already have dividers up. The crew's been doing a really good job. They're going to have that up and running awfully quick. Army Corps of Engineers working hard in downtown Detroit to save lives. So it's amazing. And I bet before it's all over that we're going to need something like that here in Oakland County. And then speaking of Oakland County, here is the link to the heat map for Oakland County as it is. And this is the place where you can go in and put in a zip code. Larry, what's your zip code?
It is 48322, and I already know how bad it looks.
All right, 48322. You put that in there in the upper right-hand corner. Yeah. Larry, you are in one of the
I'm in
dark.
A hot zone.
Yeah, you're in a hot zone, one of the dark blue areas.
Hot spot.
But isn't it
usually in life when they say, "Hey, I'm at the hot spot," I'm at a nice trendy restaurant or bar or something like that. But now I don't want to be in the hot spot.
No, but isn't it good that we have this? I mean, this is absolutely amazing technology that Oakland County has put together for us. You can zoom in, see all the counties. If you've not gone here, go to that story at civiccenter.com/coronavirus. Larry, there are 93 reported cases right in your little quadrant there on the south side of West Bloomfield. And that is 0.28% of the population. Still a small number. You've got 32,000 people in your community, but that part of West Bloomfield, where I believe we're pretty close to operating from today, and where you live, is a hotspot. Be careful, all right? At least we know.
But
I mean, you got the information. We know.
You see that area right above where it's all white? I think that's where I would prefer to live right now.
Well,
those are where there's either no or very few cases. So, and then the thing about it is you realize, okay, well, those are the number of people who have tested positive. Just think about all the people, and you never know. It could be me who have not received the test and still could be positive. So it's a little scary out there right now.
In a minute, Tim Farris will join us from Upstream Investment Partners in West Bloomfield. Tim will discuss the financial impact of the coronavirus on citizens and businesses and what we should be doing to manage our finances. We'll check in with him in a couple of moments. Before we do that, two other quick things we need to get to. A, we need to go back to the website. Tyler, are you ready for some speed reading right now?
Oh.
We're going to go back to the website, and it's time for the Carryout Club. Each and every day around lunchtime, we go through a listing of all the restaurants in our area, and these are restaurants that we know have carryout. We committed to promoting them. There are a ton of them. We're going to go through them really quick. Before we go there, I want to let all the restaurants know, if you are a restaurateur and you want to do some online ordering, there's a short-term opportunity for you to set up a free online ordering system with the folks at Ever Studios. And there's a link right on our Carryout Club page to help out our local restaurateurs. If you don't have that online shopping experience, you want to do that, you can do that right there with that link. And that has been promised to us to be absolutely free. All right, Tyler, let's rip through the list for today. Here are the area restaurants that are open for carryout, and there's more information about each one of these at civiccentertv.com and the Carryout Club.
Well, right there at the top of the list, El Toro Bar and Grill. That is on Center Point Parkway in Pontiac, just slightly outside of Bloomfield. Beyond Juicery and Eatery on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield. The Honey Tree Grill. Papa Romano's in West Bloomfield Township. Bloomfield Township on Maple Road. Thai Taste to Go, also in Bloomfield Township. Andiamo of Bloomfield Township is on the list. Mex on Telegraph Road in Bloomfield Hills. On Woodward, the Moose Preserve Bar and Grill, Thai Street Kitchen, also on Woodward Avenue, along with La Marsa of Bloomfield Hills. Back on Telegraph, Szechuan Gourmet on Telegraph Road in Bloomfield, Brugger's Bagels in Bloomfield Hills, Sushi Hana, John's Cafe on Woodward Avenue, Eddie Merlot's Primed Aged Beef and Seafood Restaurant, Little Daddy's, Joe Muir Seafood, Chatilla Bakery.
You mean I can get carry out from Joe Muir's?
You can.
I know I mention that every day, but I've never had carry out. They've got great seafood. Okay, carry on.
Fantastic.
All right,
Chatilla Bakery at West Maple Road in West Bloomfield Township. New Yatsuba Japanese Restaurant, Sonny's Cafe, the Soul Cafe on Drake Road, just up the street from us. Greek Islands Coney Restaurant on Farmington Road. Prime 29 Steakhouse on Orchard Lake Road at Maple. Chow Italian Bistro and Wine Bar, Mena Sushi. The Grill in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake Meza at Orchard Lake Road, just before Pontiac Trail. The Fifth Tavern, Bosco's Coffee and Kitchen in Keego Harbor, Ellen's Bakery and Cafe in Sylvan Lake. Bellacino's Pizza and Grinders, also in Sylvan Lake. And right across the street from Abbott Middle School, Philo Fresh on Orchard Lake Road in Keego Harbor. One of our restaurant partners from last week and Facebook partners from last week, Indo Restaurant in Keego. Romano's Carryout and Catering on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield. Loya Organic, also on Orchard Lake Road, right across the street from Crosswind Shopping Mall. Chinatown in West Bloomfield Restaurant, the Honey Baked Ham Company on West 14 Mile in West Bloomfield. Crispelli's Bakery and Pizzeria on the Boulevard on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield Township. Across the street from them, Smash Burger. In addition, Chefs for Seniors, which will make meals for seniors in the community. Gino's Pizzeria and Restaurant in Keego Harbor. Sura Korean Restaurant. The Red Coat Tavern on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield. Jersey Bagel, Deli and Grill, El Chile Mexican Grill in West Bloomfield on Haggerty. Bistro La Bliss, Harbor Steakhouse, Alamara. The Lodge Grill and Bar in Keego Harbor. Leo's Coney Island, and the Stage Deli in West Bloomfield on Orchard Lake Road.
And as everybody could see, Tyler was reading that list right off of his phone.
Oh, yeah.
So this is all available on the internet. Tyler, we are a victim of our own success.
Yeah.
When I offered to do this, I didn't think we would have so many restaurants and it would take so long. But I'm really happy that we're able to do that. Good job getting through all of them. I couldn't pronounce them all. You did a great job. So,
Thank you.
And again, go to the website because we don't have time, but there is really great local information put together by our Captain Jeff, who built this list for us, and addresses, hours, whether they're taking cash or credit card, whether you got to wait outside or how they're going to do it. It's all in here. It is a carryout club, and we're strongly encouraging you to support the restaurants around our area. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. Megacast continues. I'm Dave Scott. He is Tyler Keefe here in our studios, and you're listening to the Megacast on 89.3 Lakes FM, 88.1 WBFH, the Biff, and also watching us on Civic Center TV, civiccentertv.com, on the West Bloomfield Township homepage now. Thank you very much. And, of course, watching us today, thanks to the folks in Keego Harbor and the Keego Harbor Police Department's Facebook page. We'll be back in just a moment.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united.
We do.
Stand with us in
do.
caring for our veterans.
We stand with our veterans. We stand with our first responders. We really, right now, stand with the heroes that are working in the hospitals each and every day, the doctors, the nurses, and then everybody else. You know, Tyler Keefe, it's not just the doctors and the nurses. It is all the other people, food service, the maintenance crews, the people that have to maintain the physical plant. I mean, everybody. It's every single one of them. Absolutely amazing, the heroic work that is being done across our communities.
Yeah, the people keeping the supply chain running, those in delivery services that are packing the trucks, that are preparing packages that are still going out to people with necessary items, people packing the trucks that are delivering food items to grocery stores, people in the grocery stores staying there late at night when they're closing early to restock and keeping everything stocked and cleaned and in place for people to make their shopping trips. There are a lot of people doing very important jobs right now.
Without question, including you, Tyler. You're doing a very important job, too. I thank you for coming in here. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, this is the Megacast on 89.3 Lakes FM. You can see us right here in our Lakes FM radio studio. If you're watching on TV, we want to also thank 88.1 WBFH, the Biff, for joining the Megacast. And what a great job they have been doing to make it all happen. So a huge thank you to everybody there at the Biff. We also want to remind you we're on Civic Center TV. That's Channel 15 and Channel 19 in the West Bloomfield and Bloomfield area, and you can also watch on Channel 99 on AT&T. Our stream today, thanks to our partner, the Keego Harbor Police Department, is on their Facebook page, and we are also on the homepage of the West Bloomfield Township. And we sent I sent the link today, Tyler, to the folks over at the Walled Lake School District, and I think they're going to put our video player up there, too. Fantastic. And we are reaching out to community after community after community, trying to get things a little bit bigger. Joining us now via Zoom is Tim Farris. Tim is with Upstream Investment Partners, a West Bloomfield organization. Tim is speaking to us, though, from his home in Novi. And, Tim, you look good there on Zoom. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well today.
Well,
thanks for having me out.
That's good news. So how are you doing with the whole? I asked this of everybody before we get into the meat and potatoes of the interviews. How's it going at home? Are you doing okay? Is your family healthy? And
well, it's this is an interesting situation. I'm a first-hand example of COVID. My kid's grandmother is in the hospital right now on a ventilator. She had her 80th birthday last Wednesday while she was sleeping on the ventilator. And so we're coping with that, as well as I was sick last week as well.
So now you say you were sick. Did you just have a cold, or did you have any?
No, this was clear. This was the virus. I've been on medication for the last week and a half. So all the tells were there beyond, just it's in our head. We all think we're sick.
Right.
Ultimately, it was the fever that really kind of was the indicator, and then the cough.
So high. I hope you don't mind me asking about this. How high was your fever, Tim?
102.
Oh wow. So you called your doctor, I presume. Did they have you go in, or did they just have you treat yourself at home?
No, we just went over it. I mean, it's pretty clear what the circumstances are, and ideally, you don't really want to go in. That was kind of what was conveyed to me. And especially considering the other situation with my kid's grandmother, Barbara Nimtronic, she's a West Bloomfield resident. Literally one of those ones where you went to the doctor on a Thursday, and by Sunday you had it, and by Monday you were in a coma. So you really, that's just surreal to see those kind of things happen, but really drives home the points about people tending to their affairs.
Well, and that's what we're going to talk about. I want to get into that. Just one more quick question, though. I hope you don't mind me asking. One more quick question. So what did they do as far as treatment for you? What have you been doing?
The treatment, what was really great, because this was early on in the process. So, 10 days ago, today being the first, it was probably around the 20th. What you saw people doing is originally what it was they were putting you on a Z-Pack to start. And that's one of the two things that have been really effective with treating the beyond the COVID, because COVID ultimately isn't what's going to take somebody down. It's going to be the ancillary problems that come as a result of it. So when I was on the medication at first, it was going pretty good. My fever broke in about 5 days, but the cough was unrelenting, and it was one of those coughs that wouldn't release. It was a real tight cough. And that would lead to coughing attacks, and then your breathing would then be very shallow and pressure in your chest and that nature. And you'd have these coughing attacks, and it got to the point where you have a couple of them in a row, and it's like, okay, one more, and I'm going to have to go to the hospital.
Right.
You can't breathe.
Well,
so the treatment was that, and then ultimately cough medicine, and I have asthma, so an inhaler.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate that. I had no idea. This is not why we called to talk to you, but that's really helpful because Tim, a lot of like myself today. Okay, so I get up this morning and I got like a little headache and I just didn't feel like right on my game. And then you just so our heads start spinning. Well, what is this? You read everything online. I don't have a cough. Maybe a little baby fever, certainly nothing over 100 degrees. We're going to double check that when I get off the air. But, just like nothing really going on. I'm sure I'm okay, but your head starts spinning a little bit. So what your story is really helpful because it helps us know that if we got it, we're going to know. There's not going to be a whole lot of question.
Yeah. No, it took me 3 days, and you're kind of to your point of the, where my mind was at is like, okay, is that just psychosomatic? Is it my allergies? But then ultimately when the fever came, that was the tell, and that's when you had to really address it.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your story. You are not Dr. Tim Farris, but we appreciate your medical information. Tim has Upstream Investment Partners. So, Tim, what should we be doing right now? Let's talk about as individuals, not necessarily business people. What should an individual be doing with their financial life right now to make sure that they're in the best position to take care of whatever might confront them?
That's a really important question, and a lot of it really kind of circles back around to your relationship with your financial advisor. One of the first things that a financial advisor will tell you is that you need to have an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months worth of your income or expenses, just in case for that rainy day or for a situation like we just came across. That is one of the things that over time people kind of like drift away from. And that's become very relevant with all of a sudden the music stopped and everybody's business kind of came to a standstill. So the first thing was to make sure that everybody had that financial buffer in place. And the second thing is your affairs. Does your other family members know where you keep all your important documents? Do you have a sheet with all of your passwords on it that are accessible for somebody? I call it kind of like a lifeboat drill. We all have been on a cruise before, and the thought being is that before you get to enjoy the cruise, you go through the lifeboat drill so you know where the boats are. So in the event that they have issues, you know where to get to the lifeboat. Same thing holds true with our finances. We need to have a place where we keep all our financial information so that if something does happen or you're away from your home for a period of time, somebody else can stand in for you, whether it be your spouse, your children, or another person. So those are the two real kind of clerical pieces that I try to get to people to make sure that you have all your documents in order, have all of your financial situation in order. And then the third thing, and this is where people struggle right now, is volatility. Volatility is very uncomfortable. The market drew down roughly 35% in a very short period of time. It stirred up a lot of emotions, as well as the media in today's day and age. When you look at television, they're trying to capture your attention. So they're going to kind of put it out there in a way that's going to try to capture your attention. And at first that drew everybody in, but then honestly, everybody got scared. But what I want to convey to people is that historically, this is something that happens periodically, but it does not last forever. And the one thing that I share is a stat that's almost as good as gravity. In the history of the stock market over a 10-year period of time, honestly, investing the day before the worst day, crash of 29, crash of 87, 2001, 2008, you held on for 10 years, you got your money back.
Yeah, do you remember J.P. McCarthy on WJR? Were you a listener of JP's?
Oh yeah, that's the rest of the story.
He had that was Paul Harvey, but I got it.
That was PJ Harvey, but
yeah, but I know you know who JP is. So he used to say something all the time that I like to repeat, and maybe it isn't his comment, but he used to say, "Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs end up in the mud." And that's just like
pigs get slaughtered.
Right, pigs get slaughtered. I mean, it's not just trying to see the long haul, right? Is that what you're advising people?
Yeah, well, it's a couple different things. Okay, so like number one, this is a process, not an event. Bottoms in the stock market are going to happen over time. They're not going to be last week. The reality of our situation, the market is a forward-looking instrument. So what the market immediately priced in was our current situation, which kind of took us by surprise. Ultimately, the market will then start to price in when we can start to see the other side of this. So being defensive, number one, that is important. By that, I mean maintaining within your investments, 10 to 20% in cash, so that in the event that the market does draw down, you're in a position to take advantage of it. I've been in the business roughly 30 years. And when I started down in Florida, back in the early 90s, my clients were retirees. So if you can imagine somebody that in 1990 had been in the market for 30 years and was 70 years old, it was a really interesting perspective. And what I gleaned from working with clients like that over time was cash is king during these type of situations, making sure that you have enough buffer in your investment portfolio will keep you from overthinking. Too often people are uncomfortable, and it's really because they're overinvested.
Mm-hmm.
By pulling back some of their investments, it allows them to be able to ride out the storm, knowing that in 2001, for example, it was several years before the stock market really started to turn back up. So quick recovery is not going to be the case. But we know that the economy in our country is going to be fine. It is proven through several wars, several recessions, the Great Depression, that we're going to be fine. But this is a global phenomenon, and this will have echoing effects for some time.
Yeah, there's so much going on here, and we're not going to get through it today, but there is so much going on here that is going to reverberate in so many different directions. Trade with China just being one of them. It's really going to be interesting to see what happens, and we're all hoping that that this is a V. We want to flatten the curve with the coronavirus, but as the business cycle goes, we want to be a V. It was a steep decline. We want it to be a steep return. We're all keeping our fingers crossed. Tim, thank you very much for your advice. We only got a couple of more minutes. Business owners, business people, small business people, boy, we got our hands full right now. What are your thoughts for them?
Yes, when it comes to that, for example, yesterday I took advantage of the SBA site. Part of being a financial advisor is being a guide, and some of the times you have to kind of go walk through the process at first to make sure that you understand, so that people can take advantage of programs that are available through the Small Business Association. And it's about a 15-minute opportunity for you to walk through your finances on a website. You plug in the information, and then you're in line. This will be a first-come, first-served basis for small businesses. But the important aspect is that Federal Reserve has already said once that if we have to come back for more money, we'll come back for more money. We need to make sure that our businesses understand the process to get involved with this. And a lot of times that's, we're too busy running our businesses to necessarily have the time to sit down and go walk through some of these things. But sba.gov is the website. And on the West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Facebook page, we do have some great links to some of the resources that are available. So we would expect that, anticipation, and we really don't know, is as these curves bend, as you refer, in New York in a couple weeks, Detroit, hopefully by, the end of April, beginning of May, you'll start to see things kind of come back into fold when it comes to our businesses. The capital access that we're all going to have access to as a small business owner, they're saying it's going to be pretty darn quick as Friday for some businesses if you've applied through your local bank.
Yeah, we got great advice from Joe. We got great advice from Joe Bauman earlier today from the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. I thought he put it in a really good way. He said 3 steps. A, take a breath. Everything's going to be okay. B, talk to your accountant or financial guy like you or gal, and then talk to your bank, because it's the bank for this. A lot of these small business loans, you're going to do it right through your local bank right now, and then get the information from the web. So great advice. I appreciate you taking time for us today, Tim. It not only is your financial advice very helpful, you look pretty upbeat and happy, and I'll tell you what, you're looking great for a guy who is still recovering from the coronavirus. I had no idea when we called. I really appreciate you sharing your story. A local West Bloomfield business person, Novi resident. Our best wishes for, was it your grandmother who is?
Yeah, it was my kid's grandmother.
Your kid's grandmother. So best wishes for her for a complete and speedy recovery. And I'm glad you're on the mend. and doing well. And it's reassuring for all of us who are watching and listening today to know that our neighbor Tim Farris is on the good side of this. So hopefully we're going to have a lot. Hopefully we're going to have a lot of good stories. Tim, let's keep in touch, okay? Thanks for great advice. And
all right, thank you. Thank
you
very
for your
much.
time today.
Take
We really appreciate it. Tim Farris joining us today on the Megacast from his home in Novi. He is a West Bloomfield investment expert with Upstream Investment Partners, and obviously ties to the West Bloomfield Chamber. Check out either of those websites for more information. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to put a ribbon on this one. Very, I think, interesting, informative guest that we had today, and we look forward to having more tomorrow. But if you want to go back to the website at civiccentertv.com at any point, feel free to do that, and there's an awful lot of information, and all these interviews are going to replay right there. I'm Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe back over in the corner. We're going to take a quick break. Your weight, you 6 feet? 6 feet? Let me get your mic on. 6 feet. Okay, very good. This is the Megacast on 88.1 WBFH, the Biff, 89.3 WBLD on Civic Center TV, on civiccentertv.com, and, of course, also on a couple of great websites, the West Bloomfield Township website today and the Keego Harbor Police Department Facebook page. We are streaming with Facebook Live right there. We will be right back.
Have you had to choose between picking up a prescription or buying groceries? Paying your utility bill, or insulating your attic? You're not alone. Every day, people across Michigan are faced with choices. Michigan Community Action is a network of agencies helping people achieve greater financial and personal independence through programs such as weatherization, food distribution, utility assistance, and Head Start preschools. The programs supported by Michigan Community Action benefit people all over the state. Maybe you've just lost your job and are having trouble making ends meet. Or maybe you're retired and Social Security isn't enough. Whatever your situation, we may be able to help. Visit MichiganCommunityAction.org or call 855-MI-ACTION to find out more. Helping people, changing lives. Sponsored by Michigan Community Action and Michigan Broadcasters.
Welcome back to the Megacast on 89.3 Lakes FM from our Lakes FM studios. Streaming live at lakesfm.com. Also on the Biff, WBFH, 88.1 WBFH, the Biff. And we really thank Ron Whittables from the Biff. I mean, Tyler, you know Ron really well. He just has really done a great job getting us on the air over there every day, and we really appreciate being on that great signal. And so, Ron, we salute you. Thank you so much. And also, I just want to remind you, Civic Center TV, civiccentertv.com, great place to get all the information that's here on the show. And of course, on the West Bloomfield Township page today, and on the fire department, or I'm sorry, the police department in Keego Harbor on their Facebook page. So an awful lot at civiccentertv.com. We invite you to go there, go to our homepage, and I'll bring that up for those of you watching on television right now. You go to the homepage, and there'll be a lot of useful information right there on the homepage, previous interviews from the last couple of shows. And if you go in here to the Megacast link, and maybe somebody was on, you want to hear more of what they had to say, you can watch the full episode, or you can just go in here to short clips, and you can hear from the folks that have been on the show here the past couple of days, like Kurt Lawson from the West Bloomfield Police Department, who joined us, and this is what he had to say.
The most important thing, once we have people come back, and that I know there's a ton of people out there that want to assist, they want to come out of retirement. We have students that are in universities that want to come help, but we have to make sure that we have the personal protection equipment to keep them safe when we're putting them into these facilities that have been overrun or soon to be overrun by COVID-19.
So Kurt Lawson talking right there about people that want to help and volunteer in the community. We were so happy to have Ken Gutman on the show yesterday. He is a superintendent of schools in Walled Lake, and Ken Gutman was here talking about the great work that first responders have been doing during this pandemic.
So we do know people, obviously, who are affected with coronavirus, who are suffering. I will tell you that our relationship with our first responders has been tremendous, and I think of people like Chief Patton and others, and think we're really fortunate to be in a community like this where people are stepping up and really working hard to take care of our kids. Paul Shakinis in Walled Lake, Dave Malloy in Novi, all these police chiefs and others and fire chiefs, they're really out there taking care of communities and kids at their own peril. And we couldn't be more indebted to them. They're great community partners and they care deeply.
Now, no question about it. We salute, as it was done right there, we certainly salute all of the first responders in our area. One of the great first responders here, I'm looking for a cut from him, is Greg Flynn. Greg Flynn, the fire chief in West Bloomfield, has been so helpful. Here he is discussing how the West Bloomfield Fire Department is approaching incorporating changes into how they operate.
So we definitely are rethinking the approach on emotional health issues in the fire service across our public safety, police, and EMS as well. And how do we engage with that? We know it's taking a toll. They're working long hours. We're seeing our attendance better than ever. The firefighters are showing up to work because they know that their community needs them and they're here. And then they have the added stress of what they take home, and not just what they saw that day, but physically what can be on them, on their clothes, and the fear of, especially those with loved ones at home that are immunocompromised or have grandparents that take care of their kids on their days that they're working, and then they go home and potentially expose someone. While low, it's still an exposure.
One of our heroic first responders here in the West Bloomfield area, Greg Flynn, the fire chief at the West Bloomfield Fire Department. And then we were also delighted to be joined on the show earlier this week. I'm just trying to find the clip. I know it's here. Yes, Fire Chief Mike Morin joined us on the show from Bloomfield Township talking about emergency resource management here on the Megacast just a couple of days ago.
We're working with divisional type command. They split the county up into 5 different divisions, and we're working together to try to have concentrations of support where it's needed. As this thing shifts in the demand on the system, we want to be prepared so we can move both fire and EMS resources to where they're needed the most.
So it kind of gives you an idea of the resources that are here on the show every day, and you can't tune in nonstop. I know you got a lot going on, so take advantage when you get some free time and go through the website, and you'll be able to hear from the newsmakers right here in our own community. I think it's good when I go home. I usually will find out what the national story is, and usually from Channel 247, figure out, Tyler, what's going on around the state. But it's always helpful to get here in the Megacast and find out what's going on here in Oakland County, in West Bloomfield, in Novi, in Walled Lake, and in Bloomfield and Bloomfield Township, Bloomfield Hills, and Birmingham. And that's what this is all about. So, we're doing our best to keep you up to date on what's happening locally.
Yeah, and it's tough to find that kind of hyper-local information from most areas. So us being able to provide that to you is something we're priding ourselves on, and we hope that you're finding it useful.
So we have to go. Real quick before we go, want to get an update here to our COVID-19 vocabulary. These are terms and phrases that we hear now that we never heard before, and we got some new ones to modify the list. But quickly, let's go to the list here. Flatten the curve, Tyler.
Flatten the curve is an effort to reduce the number of cases that are showing up of COVID-19.
I like this one. Lifeboat drill. The lifeboat drill.
Lifeboat drill, I think that was when Tim Farris was talking about.
Yeah.
Just making sure that you're prepared for a worst-case scenario before it appears itself.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think if we leave you with one thing today is put together your own lifeboat drill, okay? Of course, everything's going to be great. Plan for the worst. Pray and hope for the best, and we will get through this. The best is all the people that we have participating with us today. One final thank you to all of our outlets. I appreciate it so much. I can't even say. Our amazing staff, we got about 10 folks working on this show each and every day to pull it all together, all the online content, the interviews, and all the technology behind the broadcast. So I want to thank them. And I want to thank you for being a part of it. For our listeners in West Bloomfield on Civic Center TV and listening to Lakes FM, this will continue to repeat throughout the day. You can also go, if you're anywhere in our region, just go to civiccentertv.com. You'll see all the content and a lot more information. We continue to update all of our coronavirus information nonstop throughout the day and the evening. So we hope that you will tune in. That's going to be it for us. I'm Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe out of the studio, hitting some buttons right now. We thank you very much for joining us on the Megacast today. Of course, the Megacast is right here on 89.3 Lakes FM. Also, WBFH Bloomfield Hills, 88.1 WBFH The Biff, Civic Center TV, Channel 15 and Channel 19, and on AT&T Channel 99, CivicCenterTV.com. Huge thanks to the Keego Harbor Police Department for putting us on the Facebook page, and a big thanks to the West Bloomfield Township for putting us on their page. That's going to be it for the Megacast today. Thank you very much for tuning in.